It is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. George is back on the show today. We're at the Humble Road headquarters, escaping the heat. It's about 100 degrees out there. George is just finishing up this custom camper van. It's on a Ram ProMaster 3500 series chassis, and this thing is spectacular. I was able to sneak in right before the customer takes delivery this week, and it's got some awesome things. It's got a workbench, an elegant kitchen, and some surprises. So join us for the tour.
Thank you, Patrick. Always a pleasure to be on your channel. And as you said, this is a beauty. Where do you see this van? Full-time living for a solo traveler. This is a 2022 Ram ProMaster 3500. It's an extended chassis. What is this, 158 wheelbase, I believe? Anyway, we start right away with our bespoke 80/20 running boards, a Humble Road exclusive. And we do another special job of supporting these with cantilevers. So when you step in, there is virtually no flex. And they're wide enough that when you go in and out, you don't have to sidestep. You can come straight in and out. But they're not even as wide as the mirrors. So don't worry about curb scraping. It's not going to happen. Further down the line, we've got a Fiamma 13-foot awning, manual crank. This doesn't kill you, right? You can do that. This is an A&M window with a slider and screen. We put that in. We put in our little WD bunk windows on either side of the bed. That's van windows direct. Back in the rear, I could tell you about our rooftop. We've got 400 watts of solar at this point in time. We've got a 10-foot shore pole container. We've got our 20-inch double row of LED spotlights for when he's back here staging his kayak, which mounts on the other side of this roof. If we just jump in here real quick, this is his garage. So we always keep the electrical on one side and the plumbing on the other side. Let me turn the lights on for you. So we repurposed the LED lights that come in the cargo vans, and we designed a little surround to mount them in my plywood troughs. I put 2 plywood troughs in between my aluminum seat channels. The aluminum seat channels are your support, clear span support without any flex. The trough is how we get wires and pipes from one side of the van to the other. This is a first. This is the EcoFlow power kit. This is generation 1, and I left the cover off this distribution panel so you can see what's involved in putting one of those together. This system was very well thought out. It's very comprehensive for the end user, which is a big deal for me. I want the end user to be capable to make any changes or repairs in here. It's nothing like the old days with Victron. What I would say, the comparison I would make, is that the EcoFlow is Macintosh and the Victron is Windows. So have at it. Solar breakers, rooftop, and solar suitcase. I've got 10,000 watt hours of lithium battery. That's comprised of 2 5,000 watt hour batteries. The access hatches are so we can get at the fuse that EcoFlow put in the top of a stackable battery, which doesn't make sense to me. Stackable batteries, let's put the fuse on the side, right? IceCo fridge freezer. As I said, this gentleman is going to be processing his own meats. Let me come over this way and we'll move these. Right now, he's going to decide how to live his life in the van. So we've got some temporary bins and some bungees. Here's one of his solar suitcases. This one's 200 watts. And then if we get these out of the way, one would be water, one would be electric. We have a winter shelf, or a seasonal shelf, I would call this. This is really for things you're not going to need to access frequently, okay? You can put everything in there and push it away. We've got a 6-gallon Whale water heater with its own heat exchanger. So I brought back my glycol system. We pump our own glycol up front, exchange it with the heat from the chassis, bring it back here. So while you're driving, you've got 180-degree hot water, free, when you park. Now you leave that be, the engine's off. As that water cools down, the internal electric thermostat kicks on, and it makes your hot water using the inverter in the EcoFlow. Then when you drive again and the Glycol heats up the water, the inverter shuts it off. You always have hot water at the most efficient way to make hot water, glycol and electric. We have an outdoor shower, hot and cold. Here's our freshwater fill, and that's our garage light. We have a fill gauge for the freshwater tank. I believe we're just under 40 gallons. This is our spotlight for the LED up top. So when he comes back from a late night of fishing, kayak, his waders, all his stuff is here. He'll be able to work here and see what he's doing. Here in the bulkhead, you might have a better shot of it later inside the van, but this is a big storage cubby all along the back edge of the bed. And then here's a nice little nightstand with a cup holder, USB 120 volt. And why do we have this cutout here? Why didn't we continue this cubby all the way down the line? Well, I'm going to tell you. This is the door handle for the back door of the van. Now, if you've got to get out of this van in a hurry and you can't get out the front, you've got to be able to reach that door handle, okay? That's why we put this knockout here. So from the bed, you can reach down, open the door, and escape. We got your back. So now I put this stuff away, and we can move on. Beautiful flooring, vinyl, click lock, waterproof. That's right, I said it, waterproof. We've got L-Track on the doors, and we're hanging our 30 amp shore power with smart plug on that side. On this side, there's a stainless steel fresh water hose. That, I believe, is 50 feet. And this L-Track and these wires and hoses add to the weight. This is a Sintra product to cover the back of the door. We can always put windows back here and do a cutout. These are fully insulated, which is nice because they're right up next to the bed when you're sleeping in those cold nights. This van's got a Webasto gasoline-fired furnace, as well as the 48-volt pneumatic cooling X2 air conditioner. Coming around this way, as I mentioned, there's going to be a kayak up there, a 10.5-foot kayak. So right now we are temporarily using the Thule Hulevator, and you can see we extended our running boards, not just putting it here for the driver. We did the whole side of this van, which is going to assist in him getting these kayaks up and down. And this is our little exhaust for our Webasto gas-fired heater. Here's an example of one of our security spreader lights. We've got 2 on each side of the van. This is our smart plug. I put one of these on every van. And this is our little solar suitcase. So if you want to bring that solar suitcase out on a 50-foot cord, you can add another 200 watts of solar. So now, before we go inside, I got one of the surprises for you. I have not seen this industry-wide in any van. We've done patio tables, and we try to do something different and creative every time. This one, I think John outdid himself. It's a scissor. He literally welded 2 sets of drawer glides together. This is sturdy. It's 37 inches long. And then we put one of our gooseneck reading lights. So now, anytime, day or night, you can work out here. You have full access to the cubby that's inside the galley. I left the floor cover out so you can see we have access hatches in 3 different places in our custom stainless steel water tank with internal baffles. And then to close this up, edge banded with our beetle kill pine, laminated in black, and John buried a magnet in the plywood under the laminate so it stays closed. Lift and push. That's it. Nice motion. This was a real win. We were excited about that. We're all high-fiving one another. So now we come inside. The first thing I want to show you is the beetle kill pine, obviously, but we've got this magnificent pantry, hutch, armoire, whatever you want to call it. The shelves are all adjustable, and you can remove them if you want to for more space. And we do our own custom handles. This is actually 80/20, and we routed, sliced up, and embedded the pine. So we made our own elegant handle for that. Over here, what is this? This is a workbench. There's a workbench in this van. A real workbench. This is Douglas fir. It's a hardwood, and we made it up. We ripped it down, we glued it together, we planed it smooth. These holes are 20mm holes, industry standard, and they're spaced out according to Festool for their tools. So John is going to be purchasing all kinds of dogs and clamps that go in these holes. He has got a tremendous hobby list. He's going to be doing fly tying. He's going to be doing silk screening. He's going to be doing printmaking. He's going to be working on his fishing poles, 6 of which are right here in this area. We've got cubbies for him to store stuff because he's going to have a lot of stuff. As I said, he's going to live full time in this van. We've got our light panels. These are Humble Road exclusives. We make our own light panels with embedded 120 volt, USB, all of our touch switches. And then here, I really dig this. These lights, these are gooseneck spots. We can bring these down. This is where he can do his tight eye work, fly tying, right? He's going to do woodworking, wood carving. It's all here. We decided to do this wall in layers. This is how we accommodated the curve of the van wall. Everybody does something different. We decided to step it in this van, and it turned out really nice because we put a light under each of those steps. EcoFlow Command Central. This is their main panel. I love this system. I love it. It's working really well. Drawers everywhere. Again, the beetle kill. We got the laminate. It's all grain matched. We put this, we had to use 3 sheets. Very pricey stuff. So we went through 3 full sheets to get this all done. We've got a couple of cupboards. And you can see, again, I left the floor out so you can see the stainless steel tank and the access inspection hatch. We've got our water pump back there, our drain traps. We always include a Fernco connection in our drain so it's easier to repair in the case something breaks. We've got an Activa sediment filter, UV light, drinking and cooking water. Right here, accessible, easy to swap out that filter when it's necessary. The stainless steel tank has baffles built inside, so there's no sloshing. I think we're close to 40 gallons on that tank. We have our slam latch handles that we always use. They're flush. Here's another cabinet. Now this is the one that backs up to that picnic table you saw outside. So you have access to both sides of this cabinet. You can see the back end of these drawer glides. Like I said, 2 sets of drawer glides welded together to get that scissor action out there. And we've got a couple of drawers up here. Nice big stainless steel sink, as usual, right? Gooseneck faucet. Here's our Activa. This is the Wilson Art Designer White. There's something about this surface. I love it. I love it. And then we do a little 1.25" fiddle rail. Again, when we come around, there's no room for error. Look how tight the tolerances are, running right along that wall. You can't even get a playing card in there. So he's got plenty of space. He can put out his induction cooker. He's got blenders. He's got all kinds of food processing equipment. So he's got his 120 volt GFCI. He's got another one out there I neglected to show you on the peninsula. So if he wants to do any cooking outside, he's got a plug right there. He's got 2 plugs on either end of his workbench, and these are all home runs. There are 6 circuits in the EcoFlow system. So I took advantage of all 6. They're all home runs. We've got another set of cubby recess here. And then up here, we got a cute little cubby for storage. And then we've got our wall cabinet. We always put a wall cabinet with sliding doors over the galley. We put lighting under it that's individually controlled. We try to, I switch all the lights individually so you have an unlimited selection or combination. My rear panels are always in a state of improvement. Now we're taking Sintra and bending it. We're heat forming it and bending it. 1 screw, this whole panel comes out, and there's a 12 circuit fuse block back there. Ditto this side. This side, look at the size of this wall cabinet. All the way down, uninterrupted. If you had guests, they could sleep in here. It's like a bunk. This is dry eraser marker. So he wants to make notes on here. It's reversible. It's black on the other side. We've got the DR160 fridge freezer, massive fridge drawer. And this is the freezer drawer. Sips power, really sips power. Two big drawers here. These guys are nice big deep drawers. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a 24-inch deep countertop, which is standard kitchen countertop. This one's 19. And we still have an aisle that's wider than most. Now this jog is important because it opens things up. This corner right here is a clamping corner. He's got some massive food processing equipment that he's got to clamp right here. It's got to be gutsy. So we put this whole corner in for that, but the entire lip coming around here is an 1.25 inch clamp edge. He can clamp anywhere on here. He can use any of these dogs. Now this angle, this is the exact inverse of this angle. So what you're dealing with in this open space now is a very pleasing feng shui situation. Over here, solid pine bulkhead over the bed. This is a twin bed, so it's 38 inches wide, 74 inches long. We had to cut an inch away to make it fit. And we've got bunk windows. These are awning windows. I always try to use an awning window when I can. We've got a reading light up there, right over his little bed nightstand, which has the cup holder, a USB, and a 120-volt plug. We've got that big storage bin there, and that is underneath a Caframo fan. And then you've got this other side of that big storage box on the wall. Wall locker, I think Patrick calls them. Here is your 48-volt DC pneumatic cooling X2 air conditioner. The ceilings are a marine vinyl. It's a dove gray. We make all of these panels in-house. These are 1/4 inch plywood panels. They're backed with Reflectix and then 2 layers of Thinsulate. These are aluminum stretchers that we wrap in the same vinyl, and the entire ceiling could be dropped if we needed to. We've got twin cubbies on either side of this aisle, triple cubbies for storage of clothing. There was one on one side, the exact opposite on the other side. Soft goods is what you want to shove in there. We have the Max Air fan up in the ceiling. This is a manual version. There's no remote. Now, if I come further down here, before I sit in my swivel chair, remember I told you I wanted to show you some surprises? Well, I did show you the one. Now, this pantry is already a feather in our cap because it's massive, but it does one other thing. If you release this and slide this out with your deployment handle, the entire armoire comes out and it reveals the shower with a Trillino toilet. And look at that shower pan. Let me take this Trillino toilet out so you can appreciate it. Ron was inspired. He went to town with his software. Look at the tolerance of that armoire sliding over the Trillino toilet when it's in the shower pan. Look at that shower pan. How fun is that? Isn't that crazy? That's a piece of starboard. And what we did is we kerfed the underside in a tight grid pattern so the water will always make it to the drains. Again, we're dealing with stepped levels to accommodate the curve of the van wall and then take advantage of it and put a little accent light in it. We have our hot and cold shower with a quick release, and then you can put the head over here for your shower. Shower curtain lives back here on a track, and that will come all the way out into the aisle and then back in to give you that headroom, or the elbow room. We all know about that now. That's no secret. So that Trillino goes back in. Now, as you can see here, these are 40 millimeter 80/20 corners, and we put the rubber tread on either side. The reason for that is these trolleys are so well made and so well balanced. You know, these are stainless steel rods or rails formed into the flange that holds them in place. And then our little trolleys is where we mounted our 80-20. We made our own release with a spring latch in 80-20. All this is 80-20, even this deployment handle. Now when you bring this across to the other side, we made 3D printed bumpers and magnets so it doesn't slam, and the magnets will hold it on this side if you were parked off kilter and you don't want it to slide back on you when you're taking a shower. This aisle right here is wider than some vans. And then you come back out into that feng shui where you could dry off. You got to think of these things. Locks right in place. You're ready to drive. And those rubber treads prevent this from racking when you're driving. Swivel seat up front. And we always do our custom little bulkhead step here behind whatever van we work on. And we embed our own tread. These treads are 80-20 treads. So you have a nice, easy step transition from the cockpit to the living area. This is a standard pizza oven, they call it, for the ProMaster. Puck lights all around. We're wrapping our headbangers. These are high enough that we don't have to worry about padding the edge for John anyway. John's my height. And yeah, you know, these bulbous things that we have in all the vans, we decided this is the best way to treat them, is to Bondo them smooth, sand them down, and wrap them.
George, thank you very much for taking the time today to give a tour right before this thing's getting picked up. I know you guys are doing some finishing touches and you have some things taken apart. It is spectacular.
Thank you.
Never seen a bathroom like that before that slides out into the aisle with the hardware and the engineering. I mean, look at that thing.
It's virtually rolling on its own. It's that good. The trolleys are that good.
And this handle looks like a refrigerator handle,
Yeah.
like in someone's house.
Yeah.
It's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a statement. You walk into this van and you see that, you're like, wow, what's behind there?
Everything is purposeful. We could have simply put in a cabinet handle here, right? No, we push it.
And I like the fact that it's a 3500 series, so he doesn't have to really worry about adding too much
Right.
weight to this.
Right. It is a single rear wheel. It's I think the gross vehicle weight's 9,500 pounds. That's not a lot. Sprinters are 11,030. But we do the best we can with what we have.
And I could use a workbench like this. I'm always tinkering, I call it, in my van with stuff, and I'm doing it on the kitchen counter.
Right. Yeah, can you imagine? This is in a van? This is crazy.
And the induction cooktop will work. Decided no microwave, I guess, on this one.
No microwave. Nope.
And I like the fact that the back is kind of loose right now, so he could grow into it and figure out where he wants to permanently position things.
Yes, yes. He's got to live in it for 6 months, and then he'll come back to us, and we'll make those refinements.
Well, this is great. I'm glad we snuck this in. I'll put links in the description so our viewers can click over to your YouTube page. By the way, excellent content there. Very engaging videos. And all your social medias and your website, so they could check out builds like this, as well as your Mini-Me, Midi-Me, Maxi-Me.
Right.
This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I'll see you next time.